and the Houston Texans. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings.
Believing that this is a team that's built to go all the way. You can't win the Super Bowl in September, but they're telling everyone that they're going to be there in the end.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, it's been a lost first month of the season, that's for sure, as they come in with an 0-4 record.
And the window's not shut on them, though. They still have a chance to make something out of this season, but it has to start right now.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
2nd down, Cousins. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now a run with Cook. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Justin Reed, the safety, made the tackle.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
4th down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Oh, he's going to go ahead and field it from the 3-yard line. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 22. They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman. And he'll be brought down here at the 28. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Watson hands this to Foreman. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On 1st and 10, Watson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That goes for a gain of 31.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. And incomplete on the deep ball. The intended target was Chris Godwin, and it's 3rd and 5.
Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss on one like that very often. I mean, there it is, wide open, got the shot, and he misfires.
We talk about, boy, he'll want that one back all the time. He definitely wants that one back.
Come back, come back.
Here's Watson. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. Following the interception, Cousins, incomplete, right side, the tight end Rudolph. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Those are the numbers from Rudolph from last week's game. 5 catches, 89 yards.
And he's able to pull that last pass in, but this is usually a pretty tough unit to try and maneuver against. They're in the top 10 in the league against the pass, and you and I both know there's not much difference between 1 and 10.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one goes for 24 yards.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
On the carry, it's Cook. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They go play action. Cousins throwing right, and that's complete. Touchdown, Vikings! As his guys are in for 6, and the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead.
The losing streak had taken on a life of its own, and I think it infiltrates a team when you're on that much of a slide. But this group has managed to focus, come out early, and put a touchdown on the board. They look like they mean business in this one.
They do. Now the key, holding on to that attitude, because, man, that streak has been a struggle for them. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
23 yards on the play.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there. The numbers for Miller in last week's ball game. 20 carries, 103 in the yardage department.
And when I watch them operate, I see a unit that's playing with extreme confidence. Offensive line, tight ends, wide receivers. You see a group that wants their number 8 rusher in the league end up being in the top 5 before it's over.
On the move to it, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Emerson Griffin, able to get him for a loss of about 3.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Throwing on third down, Watson. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him, and back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. So on 4th down, here's Ryan Quigley now to kick this one away. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Kirk Cousins now gearing up to lead this offense back out there. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that.
Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt. And if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20.
From this vantage point, that seems like a pretty dangerous call, running a toss that close to your own goal line. I think what they were hoping is that they were going to get some pressure from the defensive front and maybe beat them to the corner and then turn that field with a lot of yardage to run.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
They go play action here on first down. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Daniil Hunter in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Now it's Watson. Open man is Uzama. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Richmond. Tiger.
Here's Watson on third down. And that's caught inside the 30. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
The Texans with the first opportunity now from the red zone. They've got a first and goal to go at the 7. They'll try to run for it with Miller. And that'll get him halfway there as he takes it from the 6 to the 3-yard line.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
They'll go with Foreman. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Texans are in for 6. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Here comes Kirk Cousins now to lead his offense back out there. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but they're losing. And I think as the captain of the offense, you probably always feel like you need to do more in that situation.
The best have always felt that way, and they won't settle for anything less. So right now, his goal is to increase what he's doing on the field, try to make sure his teammates come along with him, and he feels like if I do better, everyone will do better. And that's what we're seeing from him right now. Got to have a little extra determination.
Yeah, a little extra determination. He has thrown the touchdown pass, no interceptions for him personally to this point. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know they're securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle. It's got to be priority 1.
On 3rd down, Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. Here's Riley Dixon now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. He'll look to set up his blockers. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. An update from around the league as our first one comes from New Orleans. And it's an early lead there for the Saints. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. Now a 1st down throw, Watson. There's the Penn State man, it's Chris Godwin. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. That crossing route is so effective when you hit it just right because you get a guy on the move, and then we see the end result there.
Nightmare for the defense. They got a guy with a full head of steam.
Not only does he catch it,
and he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Braxton Miller, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Texans will extend their lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. Left side, Cook. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Two minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Cousins, and he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Well, it was 2nd long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
There at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
But he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. Elsewhere, a score update from New Orleans, and it's an early lead there for the Saints. I would definitely imagine we'll hear more from that game as we go along.
Richmond.
Watson on 1st down. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down, and an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. Back to the air. Watson on 2nd down. Setting up the screen for Miller. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. And give him 9 yards on the 2nd down screen play.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. Looking downfield for Godwin. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. In for the score. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Lambo on for the extra point. Point after by Lambo, up and good. And that could be important as that makes this a 16-point lead. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it results in the Texans finding the end zone. Here's Lambo out to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And now we move our focus to Stephon Diggs. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us. But sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. This will be taken in at the 1. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Houston. As his guys are in for 6. And the Texans will extend their lead.
And talk about taking words and bringing them to life. At halftime, I will guarantee you in their locker room, they talked about pressing the kicking game because you can get an advantage if you do it right, and they just did.
Extra point tacked on by Lambo. And that pushes the lead up to 23. So that one goes down as a 99-yard kick return for 6 from the 1-yard line all the way to the house on the other end. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Now a second down throw for Cousins. Left side caught by Diggs. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. Give him 30 yards there. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. First down, here's the run with Cook. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Aaron Colvin there to make the tackle.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
All right, now here we go.
They go fullback this time, Rob Smith. And he's able to get this one down to about the 40. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
And that's why that position was created. big, powerful, strong guy who can carry the ball and plow forward, that's exactly why you have him on the field.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Now Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Yeah, he's got it. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Third catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
To the air again, it's Cousins. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Adam Thielen, his second touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. And he had time there. I mean, you give any quarterback that length of time, he'll make you pay.
It just puts way too much stress on guys trying to cover downfield because, as you said, you that much time in the pocket, he can scan the field, find the open person. That's exactly what happened there. And what was the end result again?
Touchdown. Well, it's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure, but that makes it a 2-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the 2-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready, because you may need multiples throughout a ball game. Here's a great example right there.
And a good effort on the return there. Gets him. Across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go.
And that's caught inside the 35. And give him a gain of 37.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
Here's Foreman. And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out. But a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Again, it's Foreman. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Gun!
From the gun, here's Lauletta. Underneath for Miller. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
From the red zone now, Lauletta. Throw right side, taken in by Godwin. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Out of the gun, Loletta. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
Now, that was a whole lot of open space out in front of him, wasn't it? I'm telling you, Brandon, when things are going right, they are going right.
And everything has been going their way for the most part. I saw that lane start. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. A great effort there. With his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
The Houston defense we watch as they get set to go. And a touchdown given up the last time they were out there, so maybe need to refocus a little bit.
And make sure that they don't start finger-pointing with each other, because oftentimes when a touchdown's given up, you say, okay, where did that happen? Who broke down? Who gave it up? Instead, just go back out there, be a unit again, and try and play a little bit better.
Yeah, see if they can play a little bit better on this drive.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. The tackle that time by Zach Cunningham.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there is just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll start the drive with a give to Foreman. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. He makes a wonderful play there off the corner, protecting his side of the field.
Oh, that reminds me of the great defenses of old, doesn't it? The Pittsburgh Steelers steel curtain. They would not let you get on the field if you could only do one thing. You had to be a complete guy, and you had to be able to tackle.
Now, I know I've said this before, but you know I wasn't alive when the steel curtain was played. I know this, but I just want to let you know I wasn't alive.
I'm going to keep peppering that in there, and one of these days you're going to think that you will.
He finds his target, Fuller. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
They run again with Foreman. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. They'll run with Foreman. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and minicamps. For these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
A carry for Foreman. And finding room to work, he's down to the 2-yard line. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 4th down. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. And Lambo will put this one through, and that'll extend this lead now up to 25. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know, in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Now after the made field goal, back out Lambo to kick this one off. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Vikings now heading on to the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them.
Still 1st down.
A false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15. From the gun, here's Cousins. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Second down, Cousins. And it's incomplete. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Wide open receiver complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A very solid gain of 27. A first down throw for Cousins. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete.
That was a difficult catch, and I admire the fact that he actually caught the football, worked so hard to get his feet down in bounds, tried to do the toe tap. My dad's an accomplished tap dancer. I'm not sure he would have gotten his feet in on that one.
Is he really?
Yeah, that he is.
How about that one? And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Bernardrick McKinney in there to bury him for a loss of 11. Third and long for Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10. Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Texans, their strong September has carried over to October as they move to 5-0. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, the calendar change to October didn't help as they dropped to 0-5 on the year. And they'll get a home date next week against the Detroit Lions. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.